Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Joe Tyrrell and welcome back to GP Blog. We were treated to another barnstorming race at Imola at the weekend, and it has left the title battle nicely poised, despite the season being only 2 races old. Max Verstappen got a well-earned victory, whilst Lewis Hamilton surged back to secure second, but all over the field there were different storylines. In this week's debrief we will recap the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix and look at why we have a serious title battle on our hands, but also why Lewis Hamilton is still the standard to beat. But before we get into the video, if you want to stay up to date with the latest F1 content, don't forget to hit subscribe down below and turn on notifications, and then that way you'll never miss a video. Let's get into it. The weekend at Imola arrived after a long 3-week wait. The Bahrain Grand Prix, which opened the season, felt like an age ago, but by the time we got racing, it was like we'd never been away. Mercedes set the standard on Friday, with Valtteri Bottas topping the timesheets in both FP1 and FP2. Max Verstappen was never far behind, however, and there was always a feeling that the Red Bull had more to give. And in FP3, exactly that happened. Verstappen topped the final session before things ramped up a notch in qualifying. In Q1, Yuki Tsunoda crashed out, which put him plumb last, but both Williamses put in impressive displays to make it to Q2. The second session was quite standard, with Fernando Alonso arguably the biggest loser as he qualified 15th, outperformed by his teammate Ocon, who would make it to Q3. In the final session, Lewis Hamilton, as he has done so often before, led the way, but Sergio Perez put in a brilliant performance, putting his Red Bull in second to the surprise of even himself. Verstappen was third, but Valtteri Bottas had a day to forget and was all the way back in 8th. Race day, and it was Max Verstappen who stamped his authority on the race almost immediately. Pulling away in second gear, he stormed to the front of the field, past Hamilton and into turn 1, and he never really looked back. Hamilton would have a close call when trying to lap George Russell. He almost sent his car into the wall, which would have spelt the end of his race. He survived and was gifted a lifeline when Russell and Bottas had a huge crash and the race was red flagged, but that's a subject for a whole other video. From 8th, Hamilton surged through the field, picking off drivers left, right and centre, with Norris his last victim in the closing stages as he eventually finished second. Meanwhile, Verstappen comfortably drove to victory on a chaotic day in F1, and we've not even mentioned the Miami announcement. If it wasn't clear already, we have a serious title battle on our hands. Max Verstappen has been the standout performer in the standout car over the last 2 races, yet he still finds himself in second, after Hamilton picked up a fastest lap bonus point. However, Mercedes are having to work harder than ever, never in their era of dominance has the season been so tightly poised. Even in Hamilton's duel with Vettel in 17 and 18, he was always the favourite. This really feels like it could go either way. Valtteri Bottas had an absolute stinker in Italy, I think that's fair to say, but it's still quite clear he is more comfortable in the Mercedes than Perez is in the Red Bull. Things were looking up for the Mexican after qualifying, but his race performance left a lot to be desired, so you would say the Silver Arrows still hold that advantage. Red Bull still seem to be the quicker car, at least Max Verstappen does, but Mercedes will keep on growing and keep on progressing, so Red Bull need to do the exact same themselves, keep moving forward, but realistically how much more have they got to give? And then this Hamilton, regardless of what happened on the day, it is clear to see he is still the man. Yes, he may have got lucky with the red flag, but you have to make your own luck at this level. And if it wasn't for his mistake when he tried lapping Russell, we could well be sat here talking about yet another Hamilton win, given he was closing in on Verstappen. The way he came back from 8th to finish second against some cars which were having brilliant races themselves was classic Hamilton. As soon as he got past Stroll, there was never any doubt. Certainly not in my mind anyway. Hamilton is still leading the World Championship, and that's with Max Verstappen being in such brilliant form and in a faster car. It's quite frankly remarkable. So the season is set up perfectly. Next up, Portugal and Portimao, and if last year's race is anything to go by, we're in for an absolute treat, and I can't wait. Is Lewis Hamilton still the favourite for the World Championship though? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you later in the week.